So today I'll be taking you through how you can create a funnel on the GoHighLevel CRM. So basically, a funnel is more like a sales website. It's more like a website, but more of a landing page that is focused on converting leads or prospects into paying customers. So for this one, I'm going to be taking you through the creation of a funnel and just simple basic things you would need to know. So for now, the very first thing you're going to do is log into your sub account that you have access to. Once you've logged into that, most times it will bring you to the dashboard. So you'll go ahead to find the sites tab and you click on that. So once you click on it, it would, for those who haven't created any funnels before, you're not going to see anything. It's just going to be plain. So for now, I'm going to be creating from here. I'll add a new funnel. So we click on that and you'd have create from blank or create from templates. So blank means that you're basically starting from scratch. There is no template on there. Is basically like a blank sheet that you can do anything with. But for a template, you would have series of already generated templates. So you could go ahead to search for um, templates that are closer to what you might want to work with. So I'm just going to show you an example of a template, what it looks like. So let's preview this. This is just a template that has been created that you can make use of if it works for you. So this is what a template looks like. It's already generated. So if you like what you see, it probably aligns to the kind of content you want to create with. You can go ahead to choose the template. But in this case, I'm not going to be using a template. I'm going to be creating from scratch. So I'll go ahead to click on blank. And for today, we're going to be doing a demo on how to create funnels. So I'm just going to name it funnel demo, right? So I go ahead to create. It takes a few minutes or just a few seconds and you create. So now once you've created the funnel, it brings you to the place where you can add your steps. Steps are like pages that you'd find on the funnel. So you can find the home page, you can find a thank you page, you can find a checkout page, you can find a contacts page. They're depending on what you want to achieve. So for this case, we are going to create and just have our home page. So we're going to have just one page for this demo. Go ahead and create. So now that we've created, we're going to say create from blank. You can use existing if you already have a page before now that you have and you want to just copy from instead of starting from scratch. But on our own end, we don't have something like that. We could get from an already existing funnel elsewhere, but I wouldn't want to do that. This is how you can do it. You can get from most of the funnels that we saw, but I wouldn't want to do that. I want to create ours from scratch. So I'll go ahead and cancel and create from blank. So now it's going to take us to our workstation, which is our blank sheet, and we can design it however we want to design it. So once it takes you to the page, it just shows you a quick tab, which is where you can find where you can add your elements, your sections, your rows, and stuff like that. So the very first thing we're going to do is let me close this out so that you see how it looks like. You see it's absolutely blank. There's nothing on the page. So let's say we want to go ahead to start creating something from scratch. We can click on, there's a plus icon here. So we just click on it and then it opens that tab. Or we can go ahead to make use of the tab here, which is where we see add element. So we can also tap on that, and then we can add our element. So this is a quick add. This is a place where you can see where you can just type out an element that you may want to add, and it pops up immediately. It could be a headline or text. It could be a form. It could be a blog. It could be image, videos, FAQ section, stuff like that. So for the section, this is where you can just add a box that would carry each section. So for every website, it's sectioned according to the purpose that we want to achieve with each section. For example, if you go to a website, you're definitely going to see a nav bar and then a hero section. For example, let's say we want to look for a cat company, for example, and then you're going to see, okay, let's make use of this one, for example. So now we see how this looks like. This is a section on its own, and then we have another section, and then we have another section. And this is one section with multiple rows in it, and then we have another section. If you notice, the sections are divided by colors. So sometimes that's the case. Sometimes the color can just remain one scheme, but it depends on choice. So let's go back. So in this case, I'm going to just teach you how to add different elements. So now we've added a section. We can go ahead to add a column. It could be a one row column. It could be a one column, two column row. So in this case, we're going to go ahead to just add one column, and then we can add an element. So what element do we want to add? Most times when we start our website, mostly begins with a nav bar. So what do? We search nav, and then we see navigation. It could be a blog navigation or blocks navigation, but this is what we want because we want a navigation menu, a menu bar, and this is how it looks like. So we can go ahead to edit. Once you click on the element, let me close this out. Once you click on the element, the settings come out, and then you can edit it based on how you want it to look like. Same goes for the section. If you notice, whenever you click on a particular section, row, or element, you're going to see what you are editing on here. So now this is showing us that whatever settings we are going to be making or changes we're going to be making, we'll be doing it on the section, which is the green part of this container, which is like the mother container. And then for the blue part, we're in the one row column. So imagine we decide to give this a background color of, say, gray. This is how it looks like. And then the section above it that carries everything has a blue section, and then we have the element itself. This is where we'd see navigation menu. So whatever settings that we're putting on is going to also affect this particular one. So let's say we change its color. We go to styles, and then we can see the background color. It didn't come out the same as others. Sometimes if you don't see what you want to change on the general tab, you can switch to the styles and you'll see what you want to change. So for now, it has a white background. We can decide and say, oh, we want it to have an orange background, something, and then this is what we have. We can decide to add more of, items, like add an item. Then we want to add a menu item. Our menu item is test, for example, and we have that. So now we have test on here. Let's say we don't want this test to stand on its own. We want it to be attached to an already existing tab or menu tab. We can just drag and drop. And then now it's under the contact tab or menu tab. So that's how to go about it. And if you want to take it out, all you have to do is drag it out, and then you have all of them out here. So that's how you can add an element. Whenever you save in the newer version of GoHighLevel, once you click on the save button, this is how you save. It automatically brings out the SEO section where you can update, but that's not um what this funnel is about. So this is one thing. Then we can go ahead to add another section. So this is a new section. We are done with the navigation section. So this is a new section. So in this section, we're going to learn how to add um, uh, the hero section, basically. So we're going to add our text, which is going to be a heading tag. So this is how it looks like. It's bold. It's the first thing that catches your eye. And then you can go ahead to add either a paragraph or a sub-headline. So we can add each 3. Then this is how they look like. It's not very necessary to add this 2, so I'm going to just take out 1. So this is the paragraph text, and then the next thing I'm going to go ahead to add is what we call a button, which is mostly your call to action, which tells people okay what you need them to do. So the next thing would be button. And then you see get started right on here. So this is our next section. So let's probably change this color of this section to say this, or okay, let's leave it as gray. Now this is our section. So this is the next section. So this is how you can actually create a funnel and then go on to design your funnel however you want it. We can also go ahead to add a 2-column. Maybe in this case, let's add a new section. We add a new section, and we go ahead to add a 2-column row. This is column 1 and this is column 2, and then we can add an image, for example. So we click on that and find our image. This is an image slider. This is just one image, and this is an image that comes with a text. It's called an image feature. You add your image and then you have your text, which is not something that we want to use right now. So I'm going to delete that, and I'm going to go ahead to add just a single image, and this is how it looks like. On here I'm going to add a text. Once I delete that, it goes back to how it would usually turn up, and then once you click, it comes on here. But it's not advised to have 2 heading tags on a landing page for SEO purposes. So you can go ahead to instead add a sub headline and then edit it to look bigger for what you need it for. So on here I'm going to edit this text. So you click on, now it's showing 2nd column, but when you go ahead to click on this element, it turns to sub headline, which is the text. And this text, we want it to be bold and thick, almost like a headline. But for SEO purposes, we don't use more than 1 headline when editing when creating a landing page or a website or just a web page or a funnel even. So we can go ahead to change the font weight and increase the font size. So we can either increase it by using our arrow button up, or we can just highlight that and then put in the text that we want it to have, and then we can go to styles, and we want to align it to the left, and then we're going to call this a sub headline. So this is how it's going to look like, and then we can go ahead to add a paragraph, and now this is the paragraph element. Then we go ahead to style it, and then voila, this is what we have. For the image, if we want to add an image to our site, we can go ahead to click on the image, and then it's going to take you to the settings where you can add an image URL, or you can click on this here, and then it takes you to the media storage where you can add images that you'd like. So for this case, I'm going to use this image, and then this is how it looks like, and we can style our image to make it look a little bit better, by getting the corner radius up, which is 30, to put the edges out. So once you edit one, everything edits. But if you do not want that, you can toggle this off and then edit one part to be 0, and this edge looks like this, which I think looks pretty cool. So maybe we can also do that for this, and we can make this say 50, and make here also 50, and then we have this sort of image, which looks pretty cool. So this is basically how you create your funnel, and with every edit that you make, you notice that you have a blinking icon here telling you to save your work, and once you click on that, voila, it saves. And if you want to see this, just how it will look like when published, you can click on the eye icon, and this is how your funnel looks like. Voila. So thank you.